The Stellar Seeker drifted silently through the void, its worn hull bearing the scars of countless salvage operations. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge viewport, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling purple nebula ahead. After 15 years of scraping by on routine salvage jobs, she'd learned to trust her instincts. Right now, those instincts were screaming that something was different about this mission. "Captain, long-range sensors are picking up the target," called out Maya Rodriguez, their sensor specialist. "But there's something odd about these readings." Sarah turned from the viewport, her weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of the bridge instruments. "Define odd, Maya." The signature keeps shifting. One moment it reads like a standard cargo hauler, the next like nothing I've ever seen. And the mass calculations don't make sense. They're orders of magnitude larger than what we were told to expect. Dr. James Wong, their xenotech specialist, leaned over Maya's shoulder, his cybernetic eye whirring as it focused on the readings. "These energy patterns, they're not random. There's a structure to them, almost like they're testing our sensor capabilities." Sarah felt a familiar tension in her shoulders. In the salvage business, surprises usually meant trouble, but the contract payment would keep them flying for a year, and their last 3 jobs had barely covered fuel costs. "Ravi, what's our approach vector looking like?" Their pilot, Ravi Patel, ran his fingers over the navigation console, his movements precise despite the tremor in his left hand. A souvenir from a salvage operation gone wrong. "We can match orbit in about 6 hours, assuming the target maintains its current trajectory. But Captain, I've never seen debris patterns like this. Whatever this thing is, it's old. Really old." Sarah moved to the tactical station where Leo Harrison, their security chief, was already running combat simulations. The ex-Marine's expression was grim. "I don't like it, Captain. No other salvage crews have touched this contract. Either they know something we don't, or we're about to find out why." Sarah finished. She pulled out her grandmother's compass, an old Earth relic that had guided her through countless difficult decisions. The needle spun wildly before settling on a direction that couldn't possibly be north in the depths of space. "All hands, prep for close approach," Sarah announced over the ship-wide comm. "Maya, keep those sensors hot. James, I want you ready to analyze anything unusual. Leo, weapons on standby, but powered down. Let's not appear hostile. Ravi, at the first sign of trouble, I want us out of here faster than a vacuum breach." As they drew closer, the true scale of their discovery became apparent. What they'd thought was a derelict cargo hauler was actually a massive vessel unlike anything in human records. Its hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, creating an unsettling void in space. Geometric patterns shifted across its surface like living circuitry. "Energy spike," Maya called out. Before anyone could react, a brilliant beam of light swept over the Stellar Seeker. Every system on the bridge flickered but remained operational. "What was that?" Sarah demanded. James's cybernetic eye was cycling through spectrums rapidly. "It was a scan, but unlike anything in our database. Captain, I think it was reading our DNA." The massive vessel's surface began to transform, sections flowing like liquid metal, until they formed what was unmistakably a hangar entrance large enough to accommodate their ship with room to spare. "That's an invitation if I ever saw one," Ravi whispered. Sarah's compass was now pulling strongly toward the mysterious ship. In 15 years of salvage work, she'd learned there were 2 types of captains: those who played it safe and scraped by, and those who took calculated risks and made history. "Ravi, take us in. Nice and slow." She turned to address her crew. "Whatever this is, it's beyond anything humanity has encountered. But it chose to reveal itself to us. Let's find out why." The Stellar Seeker glided into the cavernous hangar, dwarfed by the scale of the ancient vessel. As they crossed the threshold, systems began activating throughout the massive ship, as if it were awakening from a long slumber. The crew of the Stellar Seeker was about to discover that they hadn't found just another salvage job. They'd found humanity's next great leap forward. The interior of the ancient vessel defied conventional physics. Sarah led her team through corridors that seemed to reshape themselves as they walked, their helmet lights revealing surfaces that absorbed and redirected illumination in impossible ways. James's cybernetic eye was recording everything, its enhanced sensors struggling to make sense of the technology surrounding them. "These readings are incredible," James muttered, his organic eye wide with wonder. "The material composition. It's like a hybrid of matter and energy. The walls aren't just moving, they're phase-shifting on a quantum level." Maya's sensor pack was chirping continuously. "The atmosphere is stabilizing around us. It's matching Earth normal conditions exactly, almost as if it's adapting to us," Sarah finished. She studied the walls, noting how they seemed to pulse with a faint internal light that followed their movements. Her compass continued to pull forward, leading them deeper into the mysterious vessel. Leo maintained a defensive position, his rifle ready but lowered. Anyone else notice we're walking through what should be solid hull according to the external dimensions? This thing's bigger on the inside. They emerged into a vast chamber that hummed with dormant power. Holographic displays flickered to life around them, showing star charts spanning galaxies they'd never seen. Ancient script scrolled across the surfaces, flowing like water until it transformed into recognizable English. "Primary neural interface chamber activated," announced a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "Genetic compatibility confirmed. Processing human cognitive patterns." James stepped toward what appeared to be a central control interface. "Captain, these controls, they're designed for human hands." "That's impossible. This ship has to be thousands of years old, predating human spaceflight by centuries at least. Unless it was built for us to find," Maya suggested, her voice filled with awe. "Look at these star charts. They show stellar drift patterns going back millions of years. Someone mapped all this, waiting for humanity to reach this point in space and time." The chamber's walls suddenly became transparent, revealing the true scale of the vessel. They stood at the heart of a ship that contained cities worth of space, its systems more advanced than anything humanity had dreamed possible. But it was the weapons arrays that caught Leo's attention. Planet-killing capabilities wrapped in technologies they couldn't begin to comprehend. "Interface synchronization ready," the ship announced, awaiting command authorization. Sarah felt her compass grow warm in her pocket. She pulled it out, watching as the needle aligned perfectly with the central interface. "It's not just adapting to us," she realized. "It's chosen us specifically." "James, what do you make of this?" The xenotech specialist was already scanning the interface. "The technology. It's like it was designed to evolve until it found the right crew. We're not just compatible, Captain. According to these readings, we're what it's been waiting for." A new hologram materialized, showing a humanoid species they'd never encountered. "Message from the builders loading," the ship announced. The hologram spoke, its words translated in real time. "If you are receiving this message, you have been deemed worthy to inherit our legacy. We are the precursors, and we built this vessel not as a weapon, but as a test. For millions of years, it has wandered the galaxies, evaluating species, searching for those with the right balance of innovation, compassion, and determination. Humanity has passed our trials, though you may not have known you were being tested. This ship, the Stellar Guardian, is now yours." The hologram shifted, showing scenes of an ancient war that spanned galaxies. "We fought to preserve life in this galaxy, but our time has passed. We seeded the stars with our technology, waiting for species that would use it wisely. Your salvage mission was no accident. Your ship was guided here because you, this crew specifically, demonstrated the qualities we sought." Sarah exchanged looks with her crew. What had started as a salvage operation had become something far more significant. The Stellar Guardian had chosen them to inherit the mantle of an ancient civilization, but with that honor came enormous responsibility. "Captain," Leo called out urgently, Long-range sensors are picking up multiple vessels dropping out of FTL. Their signatures match known pirate configurations, but there's something wrong about them. They're emitting energy patterns similar to this ship. The Stellar Guardian systems surged to life around them. Hostile forces detected. Corrupted precursor technology identified. Defense protocols initiating. Please stand by for emergency crew integration. Sarah felt a moment of clarity. They'd been drawn here for a reason, and now they faced their first test. Everyone to stations, she ordered. James, figure out these controls. Maya, get me everything you can on those ships. Leo, we need weapons up yesterday. This ship chose us. Let's prove it made the right choice. The chamber hummed with mounting power as the ancient vessel prepared for battle. The crew of the Stellar Seeker was about to learn exactly why they'd been chosen, and what it meant to wield the power of a civilization that had once shepherded the galaxy itself. The Stellar Guardian systems pulsed with energy as the pirate fleet approached. Through the transparent walls of the command chamber, Sarah watched 12 ships of various sizes drop out of FTL, their hulls marked with the telltale signs of corrupted precursor technology, organic-looking growths of dark metal that seemed to consume the original vessels. Integration protocols complete, the ship announced. Neural links established. Sarah gasped as information flooded her consciousness. The ship's systems became extensions of her own body, its sensors expanding her awareness across space. Around her, her crew experienced similar revelations. James's cybernetic eye glowed as he interfaced directly with the ship's database. Maya's fingers danced across holographic displays that responded to her thoughts as much as her touch. Leo accessed weapon systems that made his military hardware look like children's toys. This is incredible, Maya breathed. Captain, I can see everything. The pirates, they're using salvaged precursor tech, but it's corrupted. It's consuming their ships. And she hesitated. Their crews. The lead pirate vessel transmitted a message. A face appeared on their main display. More machine than human, eyes glowing with an unnatural purple light. Surrender the vessel, it demanded in a voice distorted by synthetic harmonics. The power of the precursors belongs to those strong enough to take it. Sarah felt the Stellar Guardian's response through their neural link, a deep rejection of everything these corrupted beings represented. The precursors didn't believe in taking, she replied, understanding flowing through her. They believed in giving to those who would use power wisely. Then you will die as they did, the pirate leader snarled. All ships, attack pattern Sigma. Take them. The pirate fleet moved with unnatural coordination, their corrupted ships flowing into an attack formation. But Sarah could feel the difference between their stolen technology and the Stellar Guardian's true power. The pirates forced their will upon their ships. The Guardian worked with its crew in perfect harmony. Leo, defensive screens, Sarah commanded. Maya, plot their attack vectors. James, I need options. Ravi, keep us positioned to protect the Stellar Seeker. Each order felt natural, enhanced by the ship's neural interface. The first volley from the pirate fleet struck their shields, exotic energy weapons that would have vaporized normal defenses. The Guardian's barriers absorbed them effortlessly, transforming the energy into additional power for their systems. Their weapons are based on incomplete understandings of precursor tech, James reported, his cybernetic eye processing data streams. The corruption has given them power, but at the cost of finesse and true comprehension. We can use that. Sarah nodded, feeling tactical options flowing through the neural link. Maya, identify structural weaknesses where the corrupted tech interfaces with their original hulls. Leo, target those points precisely. We want to disable, not destroy if possible. The Guardian's weapon systems came alive, but not with the planet-killing force they could have unleashed. Instead, precise beams of energy struck the pirate ships at exactly the right points to disrupt the corrupted technology's hold on the vessels. They're adapting, Maya warned as the pirate fleet split into smaller attack groups. The corruption is learning, trying to counter our attacks. Sarah felt a deeper level of the ship's systems calling to her. Everyone, brace yourselves. We're about to try something new. She opened herself fully to the neural link, allowing the Guardian's defensive protocols to flow through her. The ship's crystalline hull rippled, sections of it phasing in and out of normal space. When the next wave of pirate attacks came, they passed through empty space where the Guardian had been moments before. The vessel existed in multiple dimensional states simultaneously, making it impossible to land a solid hit. "That's incredible," James exclaimed. "The ship isn't just avoiding their attacks. It's studying them, learning their patterns. Every miss makes us stronger." The battle continued, but it was clear the pirates were outmatched. Their corrupted technology gave them tremendous power, but it lacked the sophistication and harmony of the Guardian systems. One by one, their weapons were neutralized, their ships disabled. The pirate leader made one final desperate attack, driving his flagship directly at the Guardian's command center. Sarah felt the ship's weapons grid charging up for a killing blow, but she held back. "There's another way," she said, both to her crew and to the ship itself. Instead of destroying the flagship, the Guardian extended its phase field around the attacking vessel, isolating it in a bubble of altered spacetime. The corrupted technology on its hull writhed and then began to dissolve, unable to maintain its hold without the aggressive intent of its users. "You showed mercy," the ship's AI noted, its tone curious. The builders believed this was crucial, the ability to wield great power with restraint. As the disabled pirate fleet drifted powerless in space, Sarah understood. The real test hadn't been whether they could win the battle, but how they would win it. The precursors hadn't just been looking for capable successors, they'd been looking for worthy ones. "Send out rescue shuttles," she ordered. "Let's show them there's a better way to use this technology." She felt the Guardians' approval through their neural link. They had passed another test, proving that humanity could face corruption with compassion and violence with measured response. But as they began rescue operations, Maya's sensors detected something troubling. "Captain, I'm picking up unusual quantum signatures from the corrupted tech we disabled. It's like it's sending out a signal, calling something big." The true test, Sarah realized, was just beginning. In the aftermath of the battle, the Stellar Guardian's command chamber transformed, holographic displays showing new data as the ship processed the quantum signals emanating from the disabled pirate fleet. Sarah and her crew watched as three-dimensional star maps materialized around them, highlighting patterns of corrupted precursor technology spreading across the galaxy. "It's like an infection," James observed, his cybernetic eye tracking the spread patterns. "Each encounter with corrupted tech sends out a signal, drawing more of it together." The pirates weren't just raiders, they were symptoms of a larger problem. The ship's AI manifested a new hologram, showing the image of a different precursor than before, this one older, bearing signs of conflict. Emergency archives unlocked. Historical context required for current threat assessment. The chamber filled with images of the past, vast precursor cities spanning entire solar systems, technologies that reshaped reality itself, and a civilization that had achieved what seemed like perfection. But beneath the surface of this golden age, something dark was growing. "We believed we had achieved the ideal balance of power and wisdom," the hologram explained. "Our technology could reshape matter, harness the energy of stars, and bend the very fabric of space-time. We thought ourselves beyond corruption." The images shifted, showing the beginning of their fall. "We were wrong." Maya gasped as the hologram displayed the first appearance of the corruption, a quantum-level infection that turned precursor technology against its makers. It didn't just affect their machines, she realized. It corrupted their connection to their own technology. The neural links, Sarah understood suddenly. Like what we're using now. The corruption spreads through the integration between organic minds and advanced technology. The hologram nodded gravely. "Our greatest strength became our greatest vulnerability. The corruption fed on our pride, our desire for ever greater power. Those who embraced it gained tremendous abilities, but lost their wisdom, their restraint, their very selves. Leo studied the tactical displays showing the spread of corruption in the present day. That's why the ship chose us specifically. You weren't just looking for someone who could use your technology. You were looking for people who would use it right. Correct. The AI confirmed. The Stellar Guardian contains the sum total of uncorrupted precursor knowledge and technology. But more importantly, it carries the wisdom to know when not to use that power. The pirates you encountered were drawn to its activation, but they are merely the harbingers. The star maps shifted, showing a massive concentration of corrupted technology moving through deep space. James's calculations appeared in floating displays around it. That quantum signal is calling something massive. I'm seeing power readings that make our recent battle look like a warm-up exercise. Sarah felt the ship's memories flow through their neural link, images of the final days of the precursor civilization as they faced the full might of their corrupted brethren. You didn't just lose a war, she said softly. You chose to retreat, to hide your technology, and wait for someone who could succeed where you couldn't. Our failure was born of hubris, the hologramic knowledge. We believed power alone made us worthy to shepherd the galaxy. In our pride, we created our own downfall. But in watching humanity, we saw something different. You struggle, you doubt, you question yourselves. And in doing so, you remain humble despite your achievements. The ship's systems highlighted the approaching threat, a vast swarm of corrupted vessels and technology, drawn to the Guardian's power like moths to a flame. But unlike moths, this swarm had the power to consume entire star systems. The builders seeded the galaxy with vessels like the Guardian, the AI explained, each waiting for worthy successors. But the corruption has found many of them first, twisting their power to its purpose. What you face now is an echo of our final war, the corrupted remnants of our civilization, drawn together by the very technology you now command. Through the neural link, Sarah felt the full weight of the choice before them. The Guardian possessed the power to fight this threat, but using that power carried the risk of corruption. Every system they activated, every weapon they fired, created another potential vector for infection. There's something you're not telling us, she said, feeling the ship's hesitation through their connection. Something about why you really chose us. The hologram's expression shifted to one of deep significance. The corruption spreads through neural links, yes. But there is one species we discovered whose minds are uniquely resistant. Humanity's brain structure, your particular form of consciousness. It allows for integration with our technology, while naturally resisting corruption. You are not merely our successors. You may be our salvation. Maya's sensors suddenly blared warnings. Captain, the quantum signals are intensifying. The swarm has changed course. It's heading directly for the nearest inhabited system. They're not just coming for us anymore. Sarah straightened, feeling her crew's determination through their shared connection with the ship. The precursors had given them this power because humanity had the potential to use it wisely. Now they had to prove they could also use it bravely. How long until they reached the colony? She asked. 6 hours, Maya reported. Billions of lives in their path. Sarah's compass, still in her pocket, hummed with energy that resonated with the ship's systems. The precursors had faced this choice before, to wield great power and risk corruption, or to stand aside and watch worlds burn. They had chosen retreat, but humanity had not inherited their fear. The colony world of New Eden hung like a blue jewel in space, its 5 million inhabitants unaware of the corrupted swarm approaching their home. The Stellar Guardian emerged from phase space at the edge of the system, its systems humming with power as Sarah and her crew prepared for the battle of their lives. Multiple contacts, Maya reported, her consciousness merged with the ship's sensor arrays. I'm counting over 300 corrupted vessels, all larger than anything we faced before. The swarm, it's like they're merging together, forming something massive. Through the neural link, Sarah felt the Guardian's analysis of the threat. The corrupted ships were combining their technology, creating a hive mind that threatened to overwhelm any defense. The colony had minimal planetary shields. They wouldn't last seconds against this enemy. "James, what are our options?" Sarah asked, feeling the weight of millions of lives in her decisions. The xenotech specialist's cybernetic eye glowed as he processed vast amounts of data. The Guardians' weapons could destroy them, but using that much power risks spreading the corruption. These aren't just ships we're fighting. They're infected with a quantum virus that targets advanced technology. Every shot we fire could potentially bounce back and infect us. Then we don't fight fire with fire, Sarah decided. "Maya, show me the quantum signature of the corruption again." The display shifted, showing the complex wave patterns that bound the swarm together. Sarah felt something click in her mind as she studied them. A pattern within patterns, a flaw in what seemed perfect. Her uniquely human perspective saw something the precursors had missed. "The corruption spreads by overwhelming systems with power," she said, the plan forming. "It forces technology to advance beyond its failsafes, beyond wisdom. But what if we did the opposite? James, can we reconfigure the Guardian systems to operate at their most basic level?" James's eye weared as he considered. "Remove all the advanced functions, strip it down to fundamental operations." Yes, the corruption can't infect what isn't there to corrupt. "But Captain, we'd be giving up most of our advantages." "Not giving up," Sarah corrected. "Choosing not to use them. There's a difference." She felt the Guardians' approval through their link. This was exactly the kind of wisdom the precursors had sought in their successors. The swarm approached, its combined mass now resembling a small moon of writhing, corrupted technology. Through their neural link, the crew felt its call. Promises of power beyond imagination, if only they would submit to its influence. "All hands," Sarah broadcast, both to her crew and to the colony below. "What you're about to see may seem like retreat, but I need you to trust us." The Stellar Guardian's crystalline hull began to shift, but instead of revealing more weapons or defenses, entire sections seemed to disappear. Layer after layer of advanced technology went dormant until what remained looked almost primitive compared to its former glory. "They're powering up weapons," Leo reported as the swarm moved to surround them, reading energy signatures that could crack a planet. Sarah stood calm at the center of the command chamber, her grandmother's compass held before her like a talisman. "Let them come." The swarm struck with enough force to shatter a moon, bringing to bear corrupted versions of the precursors' most devastating weapons. But instead of attempting to match their power, the Guardian simply bent. Like a reed in the wind, it allowed the energy to flow around and through it, refusing to be corrupted because it refused to resist. "It's working," Maya exclaimed. "The corruption, it can't find purchase. There's nothing advanced enough for it to infect." But they weren't just surviving. Through their neural link, Sarah and her crew could feel the swarm's confusion turning to frustration. The corruption required resistance to spread, needed pride to take root. The Guardian's deliberate simplicity was like a void, offering nothing for the infection to corrupt. "Now," Sarah commanded, "show them what real power looks like." The Guardian systems reactivated one by one, but not as weapons. Instead, they created a field of pure order that expanded outward, touching each corrupted ship in turn. Where chaos and pride had twisted precursor technology, human wisdom and restraint now offered a choice. Through their neural link, Sarah broadcast a message to the minds trapped within the swarm. "You don't have to be slaves to power. There's another way." The effect rippled through the swarm like a shockwave. Ship after ship went dark as the corruption lost its hold, its promise of unlimited power revealed as the prison it truly was. The hive mind collapsed, leaving behind vessels that could choose their own path again. "Transmission from the colony," Maya reported, smiling. "They're asking if we need assistance with rescue operations." Sarah felt the Guardian's satisfaction through their link. The precursors had created incredible technology, but it was humanity's ability to choose not to use power that made them worthy of it. Their greatest strength wasn't in their weapons or defenses, but in their wisdom to know when not to use them. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. Tell them we found something out here. Something that's going to change everything. But this time, we're going to do it right." The Stellar Guardian systems hummed with renewed purpose. The war against corruption wasn't over. There would always be those who sought power without wisdom. But humanity had proven itself ready for the responsibility of shepherding the galaxy's future. And they would do it not through force or fear, but through understanding that true strength lies in knowing when to hold back, when to show mercy, and when to offer a better way forward. The Guardian's AI spoke one final time. "The Builders chose well. The galaxy's future is in good hands." Sarah looked out at the stars, her compass now pointing true north in space. They had inherited more than just advanced technology. They had inherited the wisdom to use it well. And that, she realized, was the greatest power of all.